second. We're gonna start breaking down what's happening in the market. We're really up pre-market, so it's a lot of news to cover, a lot of stuff to kind of go over. Get started in just a second, guys. Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at today and how we're going to execute. If you tuned in yesterday, I didn't think it was going to happen today, but if you tuned in yesterday, you saw I mentioned how Bitcoin was going to front run the market kind of rallying, and that's exactly what happened. We saw Bitcoin start to run a little bit yesterday. It kind of took off on this rally, a small rally, but after market closed, we had Trump basically say that he's gonna basically pull back some of the tariffs on China, and they're opening up to more trade deals and talking about that, which the market loved. It also aligned with the fact that Tesla actually had their earnings yesterday, so this added an extra catalyst, and tech is just soaring right now. So we're gonna kind of break that down, and also some things that's rolling out today. We got some Fed news, we got some Fed speakers, and we also got PMI coming out. Some new home sales and just some more data that can influence this market. But overall, we're starting out pretty green. So we'll get started in just a second. So let's go ahead, we're gonna get started with Tesla. Kind of go over that first. And if you see any market moves right now, it's because we got the Chicago Fed president speaking. He just came on. And then the St. Louis Fed president is supposed to be speaking at 9:30. People are gonna take kind of whatever they say into like the sentiment. Overall though, I feel like what Trump did last night with rolling back some of the China tariffs is what's gonna supersede all that, honestly. So here we go and pull it up Tesla. Start off on the daily time frame. This is our daily time frame. As you can see, Tesla's been getting beat to grab for like the last few months, really. And so we were in this downtrend, like this long downtrend that happened. We had a couple of bounces. Overall, like this downtrend pretty much stayed the same. But what people were looking for with like Tesla's earnings, they knew they were going to be bad. Honestly, like they have competition in China with BYD, that's China's baby, essentially as far as the EV. But then on top of that, what was going on with the China tariffs, and then of course, Elon Musk being involved in politics. Shareholders of Tesla do not want Elon Musk involved in politics. That just kind of adds more complexity to what they're trying to accomplish. So even during the meeting, he actually was supposed to talk about him stepping down from Doge, which he said around next month that he's gonna start rolling back his duties with that and kind of focus completely on Tesla. So that kind of added to a little bit to the rally. But overall, we really only saw Tesla go up about 3% after the earnings report. Let me see. I can pull up the show some of the pre-market move. But we really try to move by like 3% after the earnings report. But what really, like I told you, led to this push is the fact that Trump came out saying he's gonna start rolling back like the tariffs on China, like opening up more of the door for negotiation and things of that sort. And so that's what everybody really liked. So now we're seeing that we're up 8% already. Like we're touching on 257, which 257 we're pushing like this 260 level, which is a large resistance level for Tesla. So we're gonna kind of go over that and see like what I was looking for. Here. Kind of expand this a little bit so you guys can see. I'm gonna go down to our 4-hour time frame. So this is yesterday. I'm gonna show you guys the pre-market in just a second. So yesterday, this is how it opened up, which we had a 2-directional candle, which is basically a move above the previous candle. A move up, we had a 2 up, and then we finished off the day on an inside candle, which means that the price just stayed inside the previous candle's high, or the previous candle's low. So usually when you sleep off a 2-1 setup, there's some type of momentum play that's going to happen after that, which of course we knew was earnings. I stayed away from it just because a lot of times when people try to play earnings, especially with trading options, you get burned on both sides because it's like a lot of theta decay. So I'm going to go down to the 15-minute time frame. Give you a better picture. Make this a little bit bigger. And now I'm going to turn on the extended hours so you can see. So this is very nuanced. So here, this is yesterday, and then the blue is like right after we closed. And this is this morning. This is what I was kind of saying. So we had initial move, of course, at 4 o'clock. Everything was chilling. And then even still right here, we saw some moves up, whatever, and some consolidation. But that really just stayed pretty much the same even after they reported. They reported like right after market close. This is really when Trump started talking about like the tariffs, and we just kind of just shot up, eventually up to like 256, and kind of just, came back inside and kind of just floated up the rest of the night. So now we see ourselves about right here, we're still floating up. What we're gonna be looking for now is like since it's already gapped up pretty significantly, you can't trade off of like the 4-hour time frame like you usually would do with something like this with Tesla. What you have to do is I like to go down to my 15-minute time frame, and then I'll go and I'll mark out the high and the low of that first 15-minute candle. So I always wait for like the first 15 minutes to play out, and like let's say if it's this, assuming it's this candle, right? I'll go and mark out that high, set an alert. Let's say right here. Set an alert, even if you want to do it visually. And I'll set an alert right here. This is just if it breaks down below. And basically what I'm trading is price action, right? I'm trading like what the market does. I'm not having, okay, I already got triggered. Sorry guys. I'm trading what the market does. I'm not like going off of opium. I just trade what I see. this is just a walkthrough, guys, just so you know. So, I don't know if you guys can see that well. So this is what I'm gonna do when the market first opens. I'm gonna mark out this high, and I'm gonna mark out this low in the first 15-minute candle. After I let that first 15 minutes go through, and it's like 9:45, then I'm gonna see a break either above or below that. So it's like consolidation. Once I see a break above that, that's where I'll enter into my call position or going long on the stock. If I see a break below that, that's when I enter into my short position or going short on the stock. And that's what I just do. And then I look for the next support down as far as like one of the stop levels I have. And I also target the previous low, like even lower than that. So like you see this is coming down. I use my 9 EMA. So I see there's like support at 255 or whatever. But I would target this low of this candle, right? If I'm in a trade, if I'm going short, essentially, right? So this would be like around 254, around 255. So I'll target that if this actually broke down. This is if I was actually trading this. I'm not trading pre-market because you can't unless you trade like futures. But that's what I'll be looking for with that. I feel like some interesting news though, aside from just the chart with Tesla, is they start talking about more about Optimus. A lot of times, really, people only think about Tesla as just a car company when they're like a lot more than that. They focus a lot on like their batteries, and you've probably started to see that a lot of businesses are incorporating like their Tesla cells into like their batteries instead of going for traditional energy models, whatever. And they focus on like solar energy and just like reusable energy, renewable energy. And another thing they have is like their Optimus models, which are basically their robots essentially. Elon speaks of them being about like costing about $40,000 per robot, and we've seen different models of them roll out and some of the stuff they can do. I don't know if you've seen Kim Kardashian's even had one walk around holding her like bag and whatnot. But a lot of people are excited about this, and like there's a couple other companies moving this way just because it's gonna replace a lot of factory workers. And for corporations, of course, they're like, it's gonna save them a ton of money because like, would you rather pay $40,000 for one robot that can work 24/7, and or would you rather pay $40,000 a year for a person? Of course, you got to pay benefits, all types of other stuff. So we're seeing a lot like with automation going that way, especially with robots that can move faster than us or whatever that may be. But he said that he's gonna have more of these robots working in their factories by the end of this year, and he believes they're gonna be able to fully roll out Optimus robots by 2030, maybe 2029, which really is not too far off, already 2025, so about 4 years. We'll see though. That's assuming there's like no delays or anything. But that's definitely be something big that'll push Tesla, because even though there's other competitors, they really don't have the same means to compete with Tesla. Just because Tesla's already global and has they already have like the ability to scale faster than any other competitor right now. But that's basically what I'm doing on Tesla. I'm really looking forward to this around 255. Tesla's biggest test can be around 258 and then 260 and 262. Those are areas it's shown to have resistance repeatedly and it struggled with. But we break past, especially like that 260 area, going towards 262, 270. Let me see. Yeah, about 275 would be the next target. But Tesla really has to fight through 262. It's 260, 262 level, and that's where we're gonna be looking for. If we start to break down, look for support at like 255, then about 255 and then around 253, 252 level to see how it reacts there. But I don't know. I expect Tesla to continue its run, especially in that first half of the day. Now I'm gonna check out SPY, especially following the S&P 500. But let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. I'll be happy to break down on any of that. So yeah, it's the SPY. We're already up about 2.3% pre-market. Let's have to change these colors. So last time we looked at this, like last couple of days, I was telling you guys how, cameras in my so you can see, how we've been in this trend, like this upwards trend overall, and then when the market started to pull down, you see like right here, we basically just fell out of this trend that we've been inside for months, honestly. And once we fell down, we went down and we touched, what, about 480, and it bounced up, and we tried to break back within this trend line, within this channel, but we started to reject again, so we bounced back down here. It really was still wraps. Ain't gonna lie, it was wraps on the market for a minute, because we were still breaking down below this trend line, and don't get me wrong, the bears are still very much in control, and it still kind of are. But for at least for the short term, we're gonna see some like build up and consolidation. And now we're up to about 540, about 539. So the biggest test now will be us getting to like staying within this channel and getting up to 545, 546. Here you can probably see it better. I'll go down to the 4-hour time frame. So yeah, it's down on a 4-hour time frame. If you see, you can see where it was consolidated. We kind of bounced back in here and rejected off of this 540 area before and broke back down. But now with everything, hold on guys. So we see already up at 540. So the biggest test is gonna be around like 544. 544, 545. After that, we can start getting a push. We're gonna be in this gap fill area here, as you can see. We're gonna be in this gap fill area all the way up to about 560, which I don't see us pushing that high this early in the day. Probably take a couple of days for this to fully play out. But this is bullish sentiment still stays with us. Yeah, we'll get up here. There you go. So yeah, testing this 545, 544 area this and get towards 560. After that, that's when the situation kind of changes to where we're really starting to see if bulls are stepping in, and then after that, we'll start targeting 570. But this will definitely take some time for it to play out, and that's if I start seeing some good catalysts. So that'll be like interest rates coming down, or actual deals rolling in, like hard deals rolling in as far as trade deals regarding with Trump. So that's what will actually leading to us getting that rally. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.